This is my video detailing the responsibilities of a coach. I'll be touching on 4 aspects of the responsibilities of a coach, which will include legal obligations of a coach, insurance, professional conduct, and how health and safety can be applied to what the coach plans to do. The first responsibility of a coach will be the coach's legal obligations. The legal obligations of a coach include their duty of care for the people they are coaching. Their duty of care can vary depending on the age. If they are coaching young children or teenagers, then they have a legal obligation to make sure they are okay, because they are not deemed old enough to make decisions on their own. For example, in a sport like javelin, children would need to be supervised carefully because it's a dangerous sport and small mistakes can lead to someone getting hurt. Another example of this is people with a disability. While playing a sport under the coach, they are under the coach's duty of care, so the coach has to make sure it is safe for them. Clubs and coaches should also have someone within the organisation that has connections with child protection agencies, so that children that may be in danger can get help if the coach or members of the club notice things that point to an issue outside of the sport. The type of sport can dictate the amount of people that are able to do it at once under the coach's supervision. This is because some sports may be harder to keep everyone safe if there is a lot of people to attend to. For example, outdoor adventurous activities where it may be harder to keep everyone safe, it is the coach's legal obligation to have less people there so that the people taking part are still under the duty of care of the coach. The next responsibility is having insurance. Making sure that all the equipment is insured is important because if it is broken, then it costs a lot to replace or to fix. Equipment such as trampolines, for example. This can potentially damage the club as they would have to buy new equipment. Coaches also have a responsibility to check all the equipment that they are planning to use before they allow people to use it. This ensures that when people do use it, they will be safe. If the equipment is not checked, then it may lead to people getting hurt while using it. This can be potentially damaging for the club as the person that suffered the injury could sue or make a claim against the club or the coach. The coach also has a responsibility to be trained in the sport that they're coaching. This ensures that they are able to make sensible decisions about who can do what and have the adequate training to know this. If someone gets hurt under the supervision of a coach and they are not trained in that specific sport, it can mean they are vulnerable to be sued. Professional conduct is an important responsibility that a coach has. Carrying out professional conduct includes having good ethics, morals, and treating everyone equally and giving them equal opportunities. This is important for a coach because they may coach a group of racially diverse people, for example, and if the coach does not have good morals and instead has racist views, then this can cause problems between the athletes and the coach. This cannot just be an issue with race, as coach should see all people equal regardless of disability, age, gender, religion, and ethnicity. Coaches should also promote fair play and sportsmanship as opposed to gamemanship. This means that they play the sport fairly and do not try to bend the rules to win the game. This comes back to the coach having good morals. Coaches should also be able to act appropriately to different situations. For example, in a sports match and the referee makes a decision that disadvantages the coach's team or athlete, some people's natural reaction would be to heckle the referee, etc. But as a professional, the coach should be able to act appropriately and also set good examples for the team or athlete. As a professional, the coach has standards that they need to keep. They need to keep up their appearance to make sure that they have a good public image, otherwise people may not take them seriously. Their punctuality, if a coach is punctual, it sets good examples for others and shows that the coach is prepared and ready to coach properly. If the coach is seen turning up late, then it may make people think they are not ready. The coach also needs to have appropriate interactions and boundaries with players. If the coach oversteps these boundaries, then it can cause legal problems depending on the age and the sport, and it can also be a distraction to coaching. Lastly, coaches need to know proper health and safety and take proper precautions before allowing people to take part in sport. Coaches need to have proper qualifications to teach certain sports. This means that they can see if people are ready to do certain things within the sport. For example, someone wanted to try and do a front flip on a trampoline, the coach would have to make a decision to see if they are capable enough to do it. If they didn't have the training qualifications, it may mean people get injured due to lack of knowledge. The coach needs to know how to respond if someone is hurt. For example, giving first aid. This means that if someone does get seriously hurt, the coach knows what to do in the situation. Good knowledge of the equipment and sport with good communications means the chance of injury is decreased because the coach can communicate what to do with confidence to the people participating, and therefore there is less chance for them to make mistakes. The coach needs to take precautions before the session starts. This includes checking the equipment to make sure it's safe to use and making sure you know how many people are going to be attending the session because it may mean someone needs to help the coach so everyone is supervised for their safety. Coaches should also make a risk assessment for the sport so it is easy to see the risks involved and also how to counteract these risks, but also what to do if one of the risks happens during the session. Taking a register will also make sure that everyone is accounted for so they know if people go missing or leave the session. The coach needs to take an authoritative role and make sure they are clear so that people follow their instructions. For example, if the coach was quiet and did not enforce any rules, then it may lead to people messing about in the session and then cause an injury to happen or someone being damaged.